Okay, let's begin by telling you about our big story for the day. The Delhi police have arrested the building owner and the manager in the case of the illegal fire at the factory, illegal factory fire rather, that claimed 43 lives in the national capital on Sunday. Even this morning, smoke was seen coming out of the factory, and two fire tenders were rushed to the scene. Now, most of those killed were factory laborers who were living in the building. Now, close to 60 people were saved in the factory fire at Anaj Mandi, a rather congested area of the national capital. Doctors say that most of the laborers who died of suffocation. While conditions of the injured are stable, they are under observation for the next 72 hours. Okay, let's say good morning to my colleagues Ayushman Kumar, who joins us from the LNJP hospital, and Alok Kumar is at Anaj Mandi this morning. Antonima Biswas joins us in the newsroom. And let's begin, Alok, with you. Now, the case has been handed over to the crime branch, as we understand, and investigating many aspects of this particular crime. What can you tell us about where the probe stands this morning?
Well, Viren, very good morning to you. In fact, if we talk about the investigation part, Delhi Police Crime Branch has already arrested the accused factory owner, and they have also arrested the manager of this factory. In fact, I am standing just outside the factory where this whole incident happened yesterday. Just now, there is a fire tender has come because there was a small fire had happened. In fact, in the morning, there was a smoke started coming out. In fact, yesterday, after the incident, the whole factory was seized. That was seized by the Delhi police and the authorities. But today, when the smoke started coming out from the same floor, the third floor, where most of the casualties were happened. So again, the two fire tenders were called. One of the fire tenders, you are seeing that it is standing, it is parked. The operation is still on. In fact, 4-5 firemen are there, and they are dousing off the fire, and they are trying to ascertain what was the exact cause of this kind of smoke that is coming out since morning. So however, there was no one inside the building, so we can say that no casualty or something like that. But as far as the whole incident is concerned, yesterday's incident, the investigation is still going on. Who will be held accountable? That will be also the question that everybody will ask, because not only the factory owner is responsible for this whole incident, however, the authorities are also responsible. As far as this whole lane is concerned, I would request my camera person to show you the lane. This is the lane. This lane is very much, in fact, narrow. You can clearly see only one fire tender managed to come here. In fact, not more than one, because yesterday, in fact, the fire chief, the Delhi fire chief official had told the Mirror now that one by one the fire tender came there, went there, and they did the fire operation. So that is the problem that the Delhi Fire Service had to face yesterday. So we can say that this area is problematic because of the narrow lanes. And that is one of the reasons that such a huge casualty has happened. 43 persons have lost their lives. Back to you.
Right, Alok, stay with us now, because let's talk about the other angle on this. We're exploring the various avenues and aspects of this entire investigation and the fire that broke out yesterday. Now, the massive fire has brought several lapses to the forefront. Firstly, the factory itself was, we understand, illegal. It operated in a residential area with no objection certificate from the fire department. There was no fire safety clearance. Moreover, the laborers were using the factory as a residential quarters. The factory was located in a congested residential area, which made the rescue operations, as Alok was just pointing out there, very, very difficult. Now, Alok Singh got us this report from the scene.
We are standing right outside the plot number 8273. In fact, this building is known to be Rihan Bhai ki building. This is the building where this incident had happened, in which 43% lost their lives. This is the third and fourth floor. You can clearly see there are carbon that is there on the shades of the window. There you can clearly see this is the passage where these police personnel are standing. This is the passage. This is the only one passage to get in inside the building. There is the staircase that you can see. Through this staircase, these workers who were working in this building, they usually go inside and come outside. So the building's condition is very much problematic. In fact, this is completely congested lane. I would request my camera person to pan and show you. This is the congested lane, how much it is congested. Just one by one fire tenders reached at here, and they did the fire operation, that the dousing of the operation. But unfortunately, the way this incident has happened, that really raises several questions on the authorities, on the agencies, whether it's MCD, whether it's Delhi police, as well as the Delhi government. So this building was not having any kind of NOCs. Now the police has registered a case, arrested 2 persons.
Well, now, in fact, two brothers. So as we talk about the lapses, let's also go across now to my colleague Tonama Biswas, because we're going to talk now, Tonama, about how the various agencies involved in actually enforcing the rules here completely failed.
That's right, Viren. In fact, 2 people have been arrested by the police, but the investigation is going to look at a larger role of what were the agencies and what were they responsible for. Remember, the Chief Minister has also ordered a magisterial inquiry into this entire matter. Let's just quickly jump in and look at who exactly were responsible and what were their roles in this entire matter. If you start with the fire department themselves, the fire department's role, as you can see, was to carry out checks at all the factories and residential areas. So, as we have in fact reported that there was no fire NOC that this factory had. In fact, several factories in that area are now under scanner. And as we have found out that the factory operated in a residential area with an NOC, without an NOC. So not only was the factory operating without a no objection certificate, but the fact that it was located in a residential area makes it far worse. And the fire department will have to answer, because they are supposed to carry out regular checks in order to keep a tab on it. The next agency which is responsible is the Delhi Civic Body. Now, their role is to check if commercial establishments are operating without license. And in this case, the civic body didn't check that a factory was running in that particular building. So the factory was completely illegal. It didn't have a fire NOC. And the fact that it was operational in a residential area and that the factory was running inside that building, that is something that the Delhi Civic Body should have, that the MCD should have in fact kept a check on, tab on, and their officers should have gone and conducted an inquiry. That clearly didn't happen, and which has ultimately led to this horrible tragedy. The second agency which we are looking at also is the Delhi Police. The Delhi Police is now responsible for keeping an eye on commercial activities in the area. Now, even the Delhi police, the local police station over there is also supposed to keep an eye on commercial activities in the area and to see whether or not any such activities are being carried out illegally. And the fact that they allowed an illegal factory to be operational, remember, it is not something which was an overnight establishment. It didn't come up suddenly. It had been functioning over there for several years. Laborers were living there under these extreme conditions for several years. That is also something which we have found out through our ground report. How is it that the Delhi police did not manage to check that on time? So all these agencies are going to come under the ambit of investigation, which the crime branch of the Delhi police is, of course, conducting their own investigation. But even the Delhi government has ordered a magisterial inquiry and are going to look into the role which all these authorities had to play.
Well, thanks, Tonama. Stay with us. Now, 2 brothers, Imran and Ikram, were working in the bag factory, passed away in the Delhi fire. Now, Mirana's Ayushman Kumar spoke to their childhood friend whose world came crumbling down when he found out the brothers had died in this tragedy.
हमारे दोस्त थे, मिलने वाले थे, क्रिकेट साथ में खेला करते थे और वो बैग का थैला का काम करते थे। वो थैले का काम जी। अब सुबह सो के उठे, हम गए इसके पास कि इसका फ़ोन नहीं आया, तो हम गए जाके इससे मिल लेते, नाश्ता साथ में कर लेंगे। जब गए तो मालूम पूरा आग लगा हुआ है। हाँ। और उसमें जब हमने फ़ोन करा तो फ़ोन बिजी जा रहा था, फ़ोन कट गया, फ़ोन लगा ही नहीं फ़ोन। अब उसके बाद हमने सोचा कि आग किस में लगी, तो उसी बिल्डिंग में लगी। लोगों से पूछा, फिर पुलिस ने तो अंदर जाने ही नहीं दिया।
क्या नाम था उनका और क्या करते थे?
एक का नाम इमरान था बड़े वाले का, छोटे वाले का नाम इकराम था। हाँ। और वो 4 भाई थे, 2 चाचा के लड़के भी उनके साथ थे और उनके साथ 3-4 लड़के और भी थे। हाँ। उनमें से मुझे नहीं लगता कोई भी बचे, बाकी 2 भाई की तो पुष्टि हो गई है अभी।
आप लोगों ने पुष्टि कर ली यहाँ पे?
कन्फर्म कर लिया, इमरान की और इकराम की दोनों की हो गई है।
तो फैमिली मेंबर्स को आपने उनके बताया, क्या बताया?
फैमिली मेंबर को बताया कि भाई रात को आग लगी, अब कैसे लगी तो हम लोगों को भी पता नहीं। वो लोग भी बेचारे सो गए, सोने के बाद कैसे कैसे लगी नहीं लगी वो तो ऊपर वाला जानता है, या जिसने देखा होगा वो जानता है, हम लोग तो देखे ही नहीं।
अभी फैमिली मेंबर्स आ रहे हैं वहाँ से?
जी
क्या
आ गए फैमिली मेम्बर, उनके मम्मी वगैरह आ गए, भाई वगैरह सब आ गए हैं और बॉडी कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं अभी वहाँ पीछे जो अपने मुर्शिया डिपार्टमेंट है वहाँ से ले रहे हैं बॉडी।
Well, my colleague Ayushman Kumar is joining us live from the LNJP hospital as we speak. So, Ayushman, we've been talking about the condition of those who've been injured. Yes, 43 people died, but there are others as well who are still in hospital and expected to be there for the next 3 days at least. What are you learning from the doctors about the current state of those who are being taken care of?
Well, Viren, if you remember the numbers yesterday, 34 dead bodies were brought in the LNJP and 16 people were admitted. Just to tell you what is the situation in LNJP hospital right now, Viren, an uneasy calm prevails out here. Yesterday, that was the place where almost all the people who had to inquire about the well-being of their relatives were coming, and they were sitting out there. There was a help desk made out there by the Delhi police authorities and also the hospital authorities. Today, that has been removed, possibly meaning that every identification has been done. And at the same time, Viren, if you talk about the situation about the injured, what we got to know from the hospital authorities is that most of the people are also critical, but they are stable. But two people are having 50% of burn, above 50% of burn, and they are being kept under observation. Important aspect is most of them will be kept under observation for about 48 to 72 hours because the doctors feel that the fumes which they might have inhaled can create a problem in the next 48 hours. So the challenge remains, but for now, currently the people who are admitted, they are being taken care of by the doctor. Authorities are saying that they are continuing to maintain, they are keeping a vigil on the situation. The number of the people who have died has not increased. 14 to 15 people are still inside. 2 are with critical burn injury. Rest of them are admitted in LNJP hospital, Viren.
Right, so those who are injured still being treated for their injuries. Thanks Ayushman and Alok as well as Torma for joining us in that big story.